Hi, welcome to the Thunderbird Farm Handcrafted. My name is Genevieve, and today is a little different than our normal video. We're going to do a little bit of a getting to know me, and also me providing a little bit of a way that I know that I can support you that I really haven't been doing here on the channel as much as what I would like to. So today we're going to do a sew through or sew along of the Making Mini Backpack by Noodlehead, along with a marketing 101 for makers. So if you are a small business or a creative entrepreneur or a maker, then this is the video for you. So a little bit about me. So for the past 4 years, I've been using my 20 plus years of sales, marketing, leadership, training skills to help build our farm's brand. I've been in the industry of sales, marketing, and training, leading creative businesses for about 20 plus years. And so when we decided that we were going to build our farm, that was going to be my primary role, was like, how do I use these skills that I've been training people to use for the past how many years? How am I going to now use that for myself? I wanted to have time to solely dedicate to that. And so that's what I've been doing over the past 4 years. Our brand and what we want people to really see, and hopefully you're seeing it through the videos here, is that our main goal is for you to be reminded of self-care, that it's so important for you to take care of YOU. And so that's definitely one of the areas that we feel we want to be set apart within our brand, whether that be having a retreat in nature here on our farm, if it's something you're purchasing from my small shop to just give as a gift to someone else, or to care for yourself with our loose leaf tea blends, whatever it might be that we have on our shop, or if it's just you being a part of this community and listening to the healing part of these videos every week. It really means a lot to both of us, my husband and I. It really is a part of who we are, to remind you to take care of you. Because if you aren't taking care of you, whether that be your mind, body, spirit, all of it, there will be a piece of it that you won't be able to give to others. And I really think that is the way we make this world a better place. It's as floaty as that. But the part of me that is sales, marketing, and business and leading is still there, and it doesn't go away. 20 years of doing something that you love just doesn't leave. And one of the things I love is helping women and creative business owners and makers not be afraid of the scary 5-letter word, sales, and helping you learn that if you can see how it relates to you, how it fits into what you do, what you care about, what your purpose is of your business, that SALES word is no longer scary. It actually becomes very simple. So today we're going to do a little bit of a different type of video. We are still going to do a little bit of sew through. You're going to see me sewing a Making Mini Backpack by Noodlehead. So I highly suggest, this is one of my favorite patterns. Go and get this pattern. It's awesome. And we're going to also talk a little bit about how are you setting yourself apart as a creative business, as a maker, so that you can feel like you're naturally selling without feeling like that word is something you want to steer clear of. So today, again, subscribe if you haven't already here. If you have other creative maker friends that are either starting their business, or maybe this is always such a good refresher. I always try to think about this at least this time of year, to try to get me back on track, or also to get the creative juices flowing. So feel free to share with any of your friends, give me a like, and as always, feel free to ask any questions. I love having conversations with you all. If you do need to skip ahead or go back, I will try to put as many timestamps on this as possible. Again, this isn't necessarily a tutorial of making this backpack, but I will try to put as many timestamps as possible. So if you do want to come back and listen to something again or watch something again, you can do so. So how are we going to do this? How are we going to sew and also teach you a little bit of something about what I feel are the important parts of, like, kind of the fundamentals of when you're developing your marketing and your branding, and how you're how you're expressing your small business, your maker business out into the world. And I was trying to think about that, and I was like, I hope this won't be too confusing, but I think that this would be a good way because a lot of us already know the businesses out there that we like. And I think sometimes it's easier for you to recognize the things that set others apart than maybe yourself, and then go back and see what sets you apart so that you're able to build out your branding and your marketing. So we're going to basically take not only the company that made the pattern, Noodlehead, but also the companies of the supplies that I'm using to make this backpack. And so we're going to kind of go through that. These are all businesses that I highly recommend you check out. I do have links for all of them in the details, but I do think this will be a fun way for you to be able to learn what is something that you would recognize in another business that would gravitate you there. And then what happens very naturally is it is much easier for those businesses to sell to you once there is something that gravitates you to them. So we're going to talk about that. That's how we're going to walk through this today. Again, I highly recommend getting the Making backpack. I am doing the mini with the accessorized front pocket. So I highly recommend checking that out. I also will be going through all of the supplies. So every single little thing, even down to the rivets. So join me today. Let's have some fun with this. Feel free to ask any questions, and we're going to get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about here, the first company that we're going to talk about of the different supplies that I use here is this red Theratex from Fabric Therapy. If you are not following Nancy over at Fabric Therapy, I highly recommend that you do. And you can check her out. I'll post her website in the details, and you can go over and check her out, join her Facebook group. She's amazing. You probably heard me talk about her before. But what I want to share about with Nancy, specifically when talking about this Theratex that I used on this bag in the red, is that Nancy, the first thing you're going to notice when you go either on her Facebook page or her website is she calls herself your fabric therapist. So immediately Nancy is kind of making it known that she's someone who's there to help you with kind of fixing some of the things that you might feel are off in your relationship with fabric. And so that terminology right there, she knows that we're fabric addicts, and she wants to be the place where you get your fix. And so it's already kind of leveling her up in a different mindset in our brains. The one thing she's trying to make sure that you know by stating that is that she's your access to luxury fabrics, to feeling good about your fabric purchases, all right? She also makes it accessible. Even though she's more high-end, you are going to pay a premium for the time you spend with her. She does offer Sizzle, which is a way for you to pay over time for it. She offers pre-orders, so you can save up and get the things that you want. And she also offers it in a variety of material bases. And she has a secret sauce to those bases, and they're all trademarked. So it's making you feel, which you are, getting something different, something special. But also she's really focusing on how can I make sure that I'm giving the best and making sure my customers know that they're getting the best. She does offer limited retail. It sells out super fast. So she doesn't stock a ton of what she could, but she focuses on, like, there's limited retail. Whatever comes in after the pre-orders is what's up for retail. So grab it while you can. She does offer fun, bold prints in a lot of her bases, but she also offers solids for those of us who maybe aren't into the different funky colors or different prints. If we just want solid in her premier fabric base, which is the Therotex. She has it. She also offers interfacing specifically to focus on saving time. It's not your typical interfacing. So fabric therapy, the way that Nancy's really setting herself apart is she's not your typical place you would go for fabric, but she is the place that if you want luxury fabric, you want the best possible service, you want to feel good when you receive your fabric, like, oh, I spent all that money and oh, this is what I got. That's not how you're going to feel after you purchase something from Nancy. You're going to feel really good about it because you're going to be like, oh, this feels like it was worth it. And so definitely that's how Nancy is setting herself apart. So you want to think to yourself, what areas do you want to set yourself apart? Maybe like Nancy, maybe you want to do the opposite of Nancy. There's room for everybody. Next, we're going to talk about this teacup fabric vinyl that I have here. We're going to also talk about some of the hardware that I used on this bag as well. That all is coming from Wonderground Fabrics, from Gabby over at Wonderground. So all of my zipper pulls, all of my hardware that's on this, as far as those teacups, as well as the vinyl, is coming from Wonderground Fabrics from Gabby. And so the first thing you're going to notice when you go to her website, and I have the link in the details for you, is that it is a small family-owned business. And it is the one thing that you're going to see a lot. You know, Gabby shares that she is a mama of 4 kids. And the other thing you're going to realize when, you know, working with Wonderground is inventory. You can usually get what you want when you want it. And that is also seen in her Instagram stories, as Gabby is surrounded behind her of all of their inventory. And so, you know, some of those things, again, are seen when she's talking about sitting in the pickup line, when she's sharing her stories from her desk, surrounded by fabric. It's going to relate to you by knowing, if I go to this website, I should be able to get what I want. She also is the solid color and colors queen. Gabby loves colors, so you're going to notice when you follow her, when you check out her website, rainbow is everywhere. Colors are going to be everywhere found on her website, and it's going to be, you know, kind of your one-stop shop for the solid water resistant canvas, waterproof canvas, luxe vinyl. She makes sure that you can get a variety of solid colors along with things that are colorful, and so that's also something that comes across. Disney inspired. All right, so you're going to find a lot of Disney-inspired fabric, hardware, and more. You know, there's going to be a lot of different things that you're going to be able to find from her that is that Disney-inspired. She's from California, so a lot of those things show through. She also is one of the staples in a sewing community of people. Ochre roots, as well as the heartwood and hide. It's very well known by watching all 3 of them that they know each other and share each other's work. And so those are some of the things that come off when you're looking and following Gabby at Wonderground is, you know what? She loves color. She loves Disney. She is a small business. She's working it. And some of those things are going to be really relatable to us and are what going to attract us. The basic item by itself, I might be able to find this vinyl somewhere else. I might be able to find this hardware somewhere else. But one of the things that is going to attract me to Gabby is going to be that I love color. I enjoy Disney. I like fun things. I like to think I'm a fun mom. And so, you know, those are some of the things that Gabby shares in her marketing, in her website, when she is sharing that she's collaborating with the Heartwood and Hide. She has those items on her page very clearly. Those shows that she's a friend, that she likes girlfriends. She likes to have fun with her girlfriends. Those are all things that are relatable that would gravitate someone to her brand. It's not just the item itself. So that's the Wonderground Fabrics. So check them out. If you like colors, if you like fun, and definitely if you love Disney inspired fabrics. All right, the last one with this bag is going to be my zipper tape, as well as some of my hardware, so some of the basic hardware, and then also my webbing. Okay, and that is all from Indo Kreation. And Indo Kreation, I'll have the link in the details for you. She really focuses on being a one-stop shop, which is amazing for someone that is not just the hobbyist crafter, but also the maker. I think, you know, someone who is having a small business, it's great to find a company that specializes in being that one-stop shop, the shop that has all the hardware that I'm looking for, that has the webbing that I'm looking for in all the different sizes, has the zipper tape in all the different colorways that I'm looking for, even has some fabrics and vinyls for me as well. So Indo Kreation really focuses on being a one-stop shop, and she promotes that even in her lives on her Facebook group. Also bulk value. She's definitely promoting herself to small maker businesses, because you're able to buy your zipper tape in larger amounts. You're able to buy your hardware in bulk sets. You can get them in a set or get them, you know, 25 D-rings at a time. It's definitely focusing on that maker business. So you can get that bulk value, but then also know that you're getting what you want, because she has so much on her site. She also has very fast shipping, which also is promoting to that very heavy hobbyist or that maker business. She provides discount codes for larger orders, which again is promoting to that small business. So Indo Kreation, a lot of the things she's offering within her business are really focusing on someone who's producing a lot. And then she offers a few other little things in there that are kind of more for that hobbyist in the fabrics, and some of the specialty hardware that she offers. She might not be the cheapest, okay? And that's okay, because she's going to have the amount that you want. And that's what she really focuses on. So that's also another shop of like, how is she kind of putting herself out there, presenting herself to her audience. She shared a whole lot about how she was moving into a warehouse to be able to have more room for things. That definitely was promoting to an audience that is making a lot of items. So Indo Kreation, I highly suggest you check them out. Definitely if you do have a small maker business. All right, the last three that I'm going to share is our pattern maker, Noodlehead, and my little Shindig, as well as Spoonflower. So this is the next making mini that I'm going to be making today. So this is the one you're going to see me sew through. Like I said, it's truly just going to be a sew through. I just wanted to make sure there was still sewing in here and that you get to see the final product. All right, so let's start with Noodlehead. So Noodlehead definitely is the simplicity patterns for the modern bag maker. If you go to their website, everything is very much classic, neutral, very much the beginner. Simple silhouettes, beautiful. They might teach you something and challenge you with something, but everything, all their patterns, everything they have there, even the hardware and some of the leather goods that they sell, are very much about that classic look, simplicity, helping you make something really beautiful with some simple steps. A lot of their bags are very just simple cut, straight cuts. There's not a whole lot to their patterns, but you are going to learn a few things along the way. So really, really love Noodlehead for that reason. If you've been a sewer for a while, simplicity patterns are a staple in many of our creativity corners. We all have them. We've all made them, but this is for the modern bag maker. And one of the things you see when you go onto their website, and the link is in the details, it says, "You'll love to sew and use." All right, so they're really focusing on, you're going to love to sew this pattern, but it's also going to be a pattern you love to use. So again, they do have some very neutral hardware. They also have the leather accents to add if you want. And their blog, this is another reason they're very focused on that beginner bag maker, someone who's wanting to learn more about this craft, is also that they have a blog where they share free patterns, they share design trends that are happening, and so you know, different fabrics that they're loving. So definitely focused on the beginner bag maker and just really classic design. The next one I want to share is my little Shindig. That's where this cork is from. And Katie, I had to share Katie. I've shared my little Shindig before. Katie, when you go to my little Shindig, the first thing that you're going to see is her freaking fabulous fabric club. That is what she's known for, and it is really focused on the cotton lovers. All right, so probably beginner sewists, people who are using a lot of cotton, and fun. Katie's, the thing that she really projects is fun, because you're going to see when you go to her website, there's a tab that says share customer creations. So she's building community. She wants friends. She wants people in the group to be friends. You can hit a down arrow that says fun activities, and she creates a pen pal and swaps, and there's all sorts of things happening on her Facebook group. And then once in a while, she throws in these little extras for the people in her community who just love what she does, and that was that she had some cork that she sold right before the holidays. And so if you're a member of the freaking fabulous fabric club and you're a part of her Facebook page and you're sharing the things you make, it's very easy for Katie to bring these kind of fun things that she might only have for a little bit, and even though you know you can get them elsewhere, you've created a relationship with Katie, so that's where you get them. So my little Shindig, I'll have a link in the comments. I'm a part of the freaking fabulous fabric club. It's always gorgeous. It's always fun. There's always a free little pattern with it. And it's a really great way that she kind of puts herself out there. It is who she is. And I think that's the one thing I really want you to take away from all of these businesses. A piece of yourself is what you're going to project. And that is what people are going to relate to you. And then that is also how you sell and you market your products. And so I really want you to kind of take that away. And then the last one is Spoonflower. So these are Spoonflower fabrics. And the thing that Spoonflower, even though they're not necessarily a small business, they are definitely more of the big, you know, in the industry, they are sharing the lover of the artist, the maker, the designer. You can make your own fabric there. You can design your own fabric and upload it for other people to buy. You can share other people's art in your art. And it's really, they really are looking at how can we encourage makers to challenge themselves, to learn and grow in their craft, and maybe add on another thing that they enjoy, whether that be home decor or whatever. But it's really about sharing and challenging the artist in all of us, Spoonflower. So I hope that this has helped you a little bit. We're now going to get to sewing this mini making backpack, and then we'll move on to the healing part. Let me know in the comments from all of these companies that I've shared, which ones you love, which ones you frequent, which ones you're now going to try that I've shared this. And also, you know, what are you thinking? What are some of those little things that you really want to stand out about you within your business? All right, so we're just basically gonna follow me along here in sewing with the mini making backpack. Again, Noodlehead's patterns are really so simple to follow. So right now you're seeing me prep my handles for the front and top handle straps, the little arm hand handles. And so you want to prep those, definitely having some double sticky tape. It's really helpful, and also the thickness of the webbing. If you're using webbing, that's really important to have a machine that's gonna allow you to do that. I also am here making that front pocket panel. The cork is so great for this. I really enjoyed using the cork for this part because it is thin enough, and I have it lined with some of the Spoonflower quilt cotton. So I'm putting my zipper in, getting that pocket all ready to go to be able to be pieced onto the front. Once you have that front pocket ready, you're going to add the little overlay, because it has kind of like this little hidden pocket feature in the front, which is really cute. It's why I like doing the accessory pocket on the mini making backpack. So I'm using the Theratex to do that because I thought it was a great contrast, and the majority of this mini making backpack that I'm doing, the cork is the only outside accent fabric. The rest of it is all that solid red Theratex from Fabric Therapy. And so you just want to I love the Theratex for this bag because it's just firm enough. I do interface things, but some of the other pieces you don't even need to do any type of interfacing. And so now I'm just top stitching to make this pocket be a finished look to it. And there you have it. You can see the finished result of the front pocket panel. I'm adding it onto the front panel of it, and now I'm adding my little tag from the Heartwood and Hide, and I also kind of layered it on top of some of my little Shindig's cork, just give it kind of a popped up look to it. I like to do that with my tags. I feel like it really gives them this different look to them. It kind of gives them more of a pop. So definitely it's a really nice way to add a little bit more to the pattern, to the piece, by having that tag kind of popped out. I'm marking for my front arm strap on this, and with the Theratex, I highly suggest using the chalk pen, only because it's easier to rub off than, say, your vinyl pen or a air erase marker, just because the Theratex is waterproof, but I really didn't want to have to try to clean it afterwards, so the chalk pen is much better for that. And the webbing that I'm using here is also from Wonderground. I really love this tri-colored webbing that Gabby has. I have it in a bunch of different colors, and so I hope, Gabby, if you're listening, I hope you get more. And here you can see the finished front panel, And now I'm sharing with you, go over and check my friend Georgie over by George. She'll share with you how to beautify your zipper tape. So as you can see, I did cover my zipper tape with some of the accent fabric. If you go over to Georgie's YouTube, you're going to see how to do that. She shares a video on how to do it. Now we're going to work on the gusset on the outer zipper panel and the inner zipper area as well. So this is, this is one of the best parts of this pattern, is that it's so simple and it introduces some very nice beginner bag making skills like a gusset. So I highly suggest, if you haven't done this or if this feels intimidating to you, that you check out this pattern, because you're going to find you're using gussets in other bag patterns, and this is a really great one, like I said, to get you started. Now that I had lunch, I'm finishing up this gusset. I'm finishing up the top stitching on the main zipper area, and then working on adding the bottom part of the gusset and those little tabs on the side with webbing, which are so cute. And I really feel like I should add D-rings to those, so that this bag could also be a great little crossbody. Make sure you're signing your interfacing, everybody. Your bags, your pieces are works of art, so make sure you're signing your work of art. And so now we're adding some top stitching, finishing that nice gusset, and getting ready to do the hardware pieces for the back. I love these fun, very themed pieces of hardware from Wonderground. Definitely one of the reasons I go to Gabby is because she does have those themed pieces. We're making those anchors for our backpack on the back, and now working on that back panel to position them. The other great thing about the Theratex is it sews so smoothly, and so it's such a great fabric material, specifically for something where you have thicker seams, because it is going to be thick, but it's going to sew really smooth. It's unlike any other fabric that I've sewn with. So now we have all of our backpack positioned and kind of grouped back there, so that we can now start working on the inner lining layers of the backpack and positioning and getting any of the kind of accents that we want for the inside. So I did add a zipper pocket to the inside of mine, as well as a slip pocket. So you'll see that. I'm adding my labels and a little zipper frame. The really cool thing about this backpack is you can really just make it as simple as you would possibly want, or go the distance with it. You can add so many other little fun things. So definitely share with me, what are some of the extra little fun things you've added into your making backpacks by Noodlehead. I'd love to hear. I also do add a hanging lobster claw for your keys, just because I think the more ways you can accessorize the inside of a bag, the better. So now I'm working on that slip pocket. I'm using some Cork. I do feel like here, since there is no pattern for the slip pocket on the inside, I do wish I would have made this just a tad bit smaller on the width, not necessarily the height, only because there is a 3/4 inch seam allowance, and it ended up that I went into my pocket with my seam allowance and just made my a little bit more thicker, and so I would probably go in a little bit more on that slip pocket than what I did this time around. I am making that little hanging D-ring area, and so now we're gonna just piece it all together, get this backpack finished up, and it does come together super quick, super simple, and looks wonderful once you're finished. So I highly suggest grabbing this pattern and share with me the ones that you make, how you're making it unique, making it your own, and if you do have a small business, how are you making the making backpack noticeable to your key customer that is out there. Okay, what's the healing part in this for me? Because this isn't the typical, like I made something and doing this bag made me think of like, how is this healing me, or how is this bringing me more into myself, knowing myself? It's funny because I made this bag based off of some recommendations from the one other person who knows me probably just as well as I know myself, my husband. He's recommended that I do a couple things with just kind of the aesthetic of way my bags look. And so doing this bag, I realized, you know, there's parts of me here. There's parts of my marriage here, which is crazy. And the one part of me that I haven't been sharing is this piece of me that for 20 years I have really given a lot of my knowledge and educated others in how to build a small business, how to sell the things that they love, whether that be something they're making or something they're selling for others. How are they getting that out there, whether it be the transition from the old school type of marketing and sales to now social media and YouTube and Pinterest and all the different areas that we can possibly have our brand and who we are out there in the world. I realized I wasn't really sharing that with you all. And it really is a part of me, and it's a part of me that I love sharing, and I love seeing other people like finally grasp that you have everything you need to sell, that shouldn't be something that you're afraid of. If you're doing it from the purposeful place of who you are, there's no reason to question yourself or to doubt yourself. You are doing something that's very natural, relating to others. It's been here from the very beginning of us. And so I really feel like sharing this video, putting this part of myself out there with you all, even though I've done it so many times elsewhere. Every time I do this, I think because it's such a core of who I am, I want to see other people succeed. I want to cheer you on. This is the part for me that I get nervous when I share, just because I think, you know, what do you know? But I do know. I have 20 years of experience doing it, and we've been fairly successful doing it as well. So this is the healing part for me sharing this all with you. I hope that this has made you think a little bit about when you put your items out or when you're considering what to do next, that you really think about, is it intrinsic to who you are? Is it the message you want to put out? Is it the things that you want people to relate to you about? And so I hope that this has helped you think a little bit about it. I know it has for me, and I just appreciate you all being here in this part of my journey and my healing journey of putting myself out there. So in closing this out, I would love to know, after hearing all of that, do you know one area that sets you apart in your making business and your creative business? What's the one thing that you think And it can be anything. Remember, we've learned there's so many different things. It's not a one thing. It's a multitude of relatable areas that make you set out to that customer that you want to talk to. And so I think sometimes it gets so difficult for people to wrap our brains around that there's no such thing as competition. But there isn't, because there's so many people in this world who could potentially buy from you, and they're gravitated to something of yours that is that one thing that gravitates them to you. So let me know in the comments, what do you think is one of those things that you feel you want people to know about you, to know about your business, to know about why you make what you make, to see in your makes, whatever that is. What is that one thing? Share it with me. And as we go forward, I hope to kind of build on this for you all, so that you can continue to learn that doing a small creative business, yes, is it work? Yes, it does take some time, but it's really just showcasing you and who you are. And that is going to relate to the people who love you, who join you, just like all of you here. One of the things that I do every month with my Patreon members who are at the OWL level is we do have a good luck meeting, which is where I kind of share some behind the scenes in my business of things I'm working on. So if that's something that interests you, the OWL level gets access to that. So definitely check out my Patreon. That's in the details below. Remember, thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing this out. And as always, crafting and your business is the healing part.